Welcome to the WEMAG Show. Today we have with us Rachel Andre Belazier. She's a wife, mother, minister, and educator. Welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you. By the grace of God, thank you for inviting me, WEMAG. It's a pleasure to be here today. Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Yes, I invited you on my show because I am so impressed by your triumphs and what you have achieved since you've been here. I know your story. You were born in Haiti and you came here to the US at 12 years old. Tell us, how was that transition from leaving your country, Haiti, and coming to the US?
Wow. It was a hard time. It was a hard time because I left at the age of 12 and I grew up with my grandmother in Haiti because my mom left when I was really young and then came here at 12 years old, being in school, seventh grade. I entered seventh grade. The transition, it was a cultural shock. Okay, growing up in Haiti, when adults speak to you, you cannot speak to adult before they speak to you, and you answer them, and you can't look at adult in the eyes. And then going to school here, it was a whole different thing. Kids were raising their hand, they were answering teachers, and it was a cultural shock with everything. But I had a great support. I have a great support system between my mom, my church family, my pastor who married my aunt also, and then all my cousins. So growing up, that transition, they make it a little easier for me. Coming at the age of 12, when you started making friends, this is when you start forming close relationship with friends. And then I just left those friends that I had and then coming here. So my church family, I always talk about my church family. That's where I grew up in church. So that makes it a little easier for me. Going to school, I went through bullying the first year, seventh grade. It was hard, but I always say this is what makes me who I am right now, as a woman. I grew up with a grandmother she's a very strong woman who used to tell us, it doesn't matter what people do to you. You have to you always try your best. So don't think, because not everybody's going to agree with what you're doing. Not everybody's going to love you. Not everybody is going to support you. But she taught us we have to be strong. It doesn't matter. So coming from that, and she always tell us, I sent you to this country when she was sending us to my mom. You leave all the bad things that you see, you take the good and you run with it. So I always have this in my head, even when I was being bullied during that first year, that helped me. And I realized being bullied, it's because of the language barrier. I didn't speak English. The students were trying to communicate. I was trying to communicate. We couldn't. So that was the reason, to me, they were bullying me, because the following year it became easier because I started making friends. Mm-hmm. And I remember why it became easier. It's because my mom, when we first came in the house, and tell all my cousins, no more Creole. We're not speaking Creole. So all my cousins who were here, who were born here, my brother and I, we had to really learn the language real fast because nobody's speaking Creole. So we had to pick up the language. So we had to pick up English and we learned English. So when I went back, eighth grade, it was a little easier. It wasn't the same. So then I realized it was, the language barrier with all the bullying. And that helped me. And going through high school, it was really fine. So that was the transition for me. At the beginning it was hard, but with the support system that I have, made it easier.
Well, that's good. You overcame all that with your family, and you overcame the language barrier. And is that what made you want to get into education? Because you are now a teacher.
Yes, I am a teacher. Like I said, I grew up in the church. At a very young age in the church, my cousin and I, we started working with the kids in the church, young kids in the church. So this is where I developed the love of teaching. I love teaching. I became a Sunday school teacher, youth leader in the church. So, and I work with the women in the church. Everything I always tell people, everything that I learned it through my church. I was blessed, and I am blessed. I am blessed with a pastor that allowed young people in the church, whenever they want to learn something to grow, he lets you. The church is wide open. You can grow, you can learn. You want to stand on the pulpit and speak. He's not the type of person who said, "Oh, you are too young," or "You're a woman, you can't do this." So he embraced everyone. So that's how we learn at the church. So a lot of things when I was going to school, to become a teacher, and I'm like, wait, I knew that before. I used to do this. I just didn't know the name, the process, because the pastor himself, he used to have workshop with us to teach us and things like that. So this is how I started having the passion for education and working in the immigrant community, the Haitian community. Love the Haitian community. It's through my church that I work with the Haitian community. And when I finish, I work with CIH, which is Center for Immigrant Health, under the hospice of NYU School of Medicine. And I was their health education coordinator. I was working with immigrant women. And I love working, giving back, because someone had to put something in me. So I have to be able to give back also to the community.
Well, being a teacher, you do give back. You work in a high school system, correct?
Yes, I teach special education. Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. Having the patience to help these young students develop more so a learning skill to get them by. That's wonderful. Now, tell me, how is it right now with COVID-19, being an educator and not only helping the students get adjusted, the parents too? How is that coming for you?
Oh, wow. With COVID, it was really, really hard, because it's not just, teaching. It's not just the academic part with the students, because a lot of us, we used to teach online. We used to use Google Classroom. I know there are a lot of teachers who have not done it, but there are some teachers who are doing it. So some of the students that we had, they were used to it. To me, it was the emotional part. So it's to support, that was the hard part for me. I had to support my students emotionally, and their parents also, because some of our students, their parents still had to go to work. They were home by themselves. I had students who were calling me in the afternoon or at night saying, "Miss, I can't do this. I can't." So I had to be there emotionally for my students, and also the parents also calling them, helping them. Some parents, they were the one, they had to be a teacher at home also, and they've never done this before. I have parents who are illiterate, so that's a lot for them. It was a lot for them. And then throughout COVID and all these things, not only that, I myself, I have to support my own children at home, my own family. And then George Floyd happened. So that was another big thing also. I had to be there. We had to support. We became a support system for our students. And our students also, because some of them, when we sit there, we were talking on Fridays. Every Friday, I used to have circles with my students. So sitting there talking to them, I remember there was a Friday, I was like bawling.
Wow.
Oh my God, this was affecting me. Hearing my students, because I teach in a school where we have brown children, so hearing the fear that they had, and hearing the fear my own son had at home also. And sometimes I feel like, oh my God, I don't think I'm able to help them, but all I, can do is support, and it's the support to give them support.
Wow. Now, tell me about, how did you decide to, not only that you decided to get your two master's degree in education, special education at that, you still decided to go on to becoming a minister, to do ministry?
Yeah. Well, as I said before, I grew up in the church, started working with the young children, became a Sunday school teacher, worked with the women in my church. And a lot of people always tell me, and I work in the community through my church, a lot of people always say, "Oh, you should go in the ministry, go in ministry." My mom, some sisters in the church, and I'm like, no. And then the pastor called me and said, that the role of minister they wanted to give me in the church. And I was like, oh, okay, God, I guess you're talking to me, because this is not the first person I heard. But I didn't want just to have a title of minister just from it, because it was through experience, everything that I've been doing in the church. I wanted to go to school and learn it. So I went to the New York Theological Seminary, spent 2 years there, received my certificate in ministry. I finished last year. So yes, thank you. Because I didn't want to have the local ministry and just through just experience by title, someone gave you the title. And everything that I'm doing, you have to do your best with everything. So I went to school to become a minister. Yes.
So how do you balance it all? Again, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a minister, you're an educator. So where do you find time for yourself, to give yourself some self-care? What does that come in for Rachel?
Rachel comes at night when everybody's sleeping, when it's quiet. Everyone goes to sleep in the house. This is when I meditate. This is when I think about the day. I reflect about my day. I do, I listen to music. Sometimes that's when I'm reading a good book that I'm reading. So it's at night. That's Rachel's time, when everybody's sleeping and it's all quiet. And that's the best time. I wake up, at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I have this app I download. It's called Abide. So it's a Christian base. I listen to Bible scripture. I listen to music. So that's when Rachel comes.
Okay. Now, how do you get your family together to do family things with them? Like, how does that work out for you, since you're always on the go?
I am always on the go, everything. So what I do, I include my family, everything that I'm doing, my business, my family. I have my 2 girls, they're there. My husband is there, even if he's not in front of the camera with me, but he's behind telling me. He watches the lives, and after the live, he'll tell me, okay, you did this very well. You need to improve in this. So that's how he supports me. In church, when I'm in church, my family's in church also. This is how I grew up. So my kids are there. My husband is there. He's a nurse. So right now, when you come to church, in front of my church, he's the one in the front taking the temperature to let, because of COVID, to have all the social distancing, he's there. So everything that I do, I include my family. So that's how we have family time. Sometimes I'll come home. I remember when I'm grading, I'll have, if it's multiple choice, I'll have the answer key. I'll call one of my girls or my son. I said, okay, grade this. So we sit together, and some of them, they read, and then we talk about the answers that the students put. So everything that I do, I include my family, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have time for my family.
Right.
So that's how we spend time, include them in everything. I have my younger daughters. I already see her. She's in church, being in the worship team. She's leading services, and she's 12. I'm so proud of her. She's my business partner also. Okay. She's my business partner. She's taking after me. Love it.
Role model. You're a great role model for her, like your grandmother was
Thank
for you.
you.
Yes.
Yes.
So with everything that you're doing, what's next on your plate?
What's next
on your agenda? Yeah, what's happening next
on the agenda? What's next on the agenda? Yes, like I said, I have my business. So now I'm concentrating on my business, on everything in my business. And then 2 weeks from now, is it 2 weeks? The 26th. I'm starting a doctoral program.
You're gonna be
yes, doctoral program in education. In 2 weeks, I'm starting. So now I'm adding more. That's how my brain works. When I'm busy, when I'm at home not doing anything, I'm like, so my brain is always working. So I need to be busy. So I always keep myself busy. So now 2 months ago, I started my own business. And then now I'm starting going back to school again. Yes. Hopefully 5 years from now, Dr. Rachel, Dr. Bell is there.
Of course.
Yes, I'm passionate about education. So, and like you said, my kids are here, and my students also, they are my kids. Being a role model for them, I'm great. When it comes to education, I have to teach them to see all this. And this is one thing I used to tell my students, and I tell my kids, my children also, that we can. There's a lot of things right now. The way society is, we cannot change. But one thing, the way we have to change that is through education, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going through all this different racism. How are we going to change that? Get an education, become lawyers, become judges, become senators. Okay. So if we want to change, we are change agents. If we want to change the system, that's how we do it. Yes, I do believe we are protesting. We're going to do this, do that. But guess what? Let's start becoming the judges. Let's start becoming the police officers, so we won't put our knees on someone's neck. So that's how we, if we want to change the system, that's how we have to change it. So when it comes to education, I am very big on that.
Now, how are you preparing yourself mentally to now tackle going back to school, getting a doctorate, and still educating your high school students, and still making sure your daughters and son are being well cared for, and they are still being inspired by you? And then, of course, your husband too. So how are you preparing yourself as a woman to tackle on that, which you chose? It's your choice. So how are you
Yes,
preparing?
yes, yes. You know, I spoke with my family before we do this.
That's good.
And the support that I received, that my husband just started. I'm starting 2 weeks. He started last month. He's doing his doctorate and nursing leadership also. So both of us. So that's how we support each other. Whenever we do, we're always in school together. So that's how we support each other. And when I'm writing something, I'll take it to him. It's like, look at this. Or he'll write something. He'll send it through via email. He said, look at this for me. So that's how preparing. I think it's the support of my family. They understand. My girls are learning how to cook now, because I kept saying, you know, mommy doesn't have time. When I come, I have to do that. So they're learning how to cook. So their best thing now is pasta. And I have to tell them, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. So we're trying as a family, and then this is what they see also, and they're telling me, when is school starting? My book started to come. They're like, don't forget, 1 hour or 2 hours of reading. You know, take off your time. Just like I tell them, did you do your homework? Let me see your homework. So this is how we're doing it together as a family. So they are in school. I'm in school. My husband is in school. So we are helping each other. That's how we're doing it. And I think mentally that's what works for me, because of the support system that I have, or the support of my family.
Well, bravo, Rachel. Now, what are you hiding behind you? I see a nice layout display of some beautiful jewelry. So what's going on back there?
Yes, yes. 2 months ago, it's COVID. Right? I always put it on COVID. So I was home, always on the on Facebook, watching some cooking channel, because I was cooking a lot during COVID, watching different things. And then there's a woman who asked me, send me a friend request. I don't usually answer people I don't know. So I said, let me answer the friend request, because I saw that I have a few of my close friends that were her friends also. So I answered it. But when I'm watching her, she's always selling something. This woman's always selling jewelry. And then one day I said, let me see what she's selling, because she's always selling something. And when I was watching, I was like, oh, this looked really nice. And she said, beautiful, fashionable jewelry. And then she said, they're $5. I'm like, $5. So I said, okay, since, you know, during COVID, I was supporting a lot of small businesses. I said, let me buy from her. She was showing beautiful pieces. I'm a color person, and all these different colors, and I was buying. She's like, oh, you're a color person. I said, yes. So when the box came home, because I thought they were $5, these are things probably my kids will take, you know, they are fashion, costume jewelries. My kids will take them. I opened the box. I was like, oh my God, I need to get into this. Because while she was talking about asking for business partners, people who wants to get into the business. I said, I want to get into this. Beautiful. I'm wearing one of my favorite pieces right now. Beautiful, beautiful jewelry. So I called her right away. I said, I need to get into this. So that's how I started my business. It's Paparazzi Accessories.
Okay.
What I love about the company, it's not just about selling, it's not just about getting money or making money. It's a company that's doing a lot in the community, in the world, actually. Paparazzi, this month, they have what we call Paparazzi Possible, where you have to go as a consultant, independent consultant. Either you go into your community, you volunteer, check up on your neighbors, support different charities. So they do support a lot of charities. So this is what's going on. Every month they have something else. So this month it's about giving, it's about donating in the world, because we know there's a lot of people who are in need, especially with COVID. So this is one of the things that I love about the company. It's about touching people's lives. And we have men and women as consultants. It's not just women. So they are this beautiful jewelry, and they're only $5. You wouldn't think they are $5. Okay. So these are, I have this piece here, gorgeous, beautiful. This is that turquoise. They all come with free pair of earring, $5. There's different ones. Let me show you this one, which is my daughter, my business partner, Rochelle. She's 12 years old. She invested in my business. Last night she was showing her favorite things or her favorite pieces. This is one of them that she was showing, and she tried to match them with different things. She told the people, you can match it with this ring. This is gorgeous. And everything came separately. I didn't even realize it. And when she put them together, I was like, oh my God, look at her. She's taking after me. Love her, love her, love her. So yes. So this is, this is what I do. That's what I added, another plate. I added, another thing I added on my plate. I'm doing, and I realize everything that you do it, to the best of your ability and consistency. You have to be consistent with everything.
And with your energy, I can see that you love it. You
love it. Yes, I love it because it's fun. It's not one of those things that you have. It's like, okay, I have to sell this. The jewelry, they are fun. When you see them, when the boxes come here and the girls are opening them, and I have Rochelle, she's just like me, I said, just like me. She put her pile on the side and she brings me her money. She's not just taking them, even though she's a partner. She brings it. She says, I'm buying this. I'm buying this. They are fun. You have fun opening them. It's like a party with paparazzi all the time. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm live at 9:00. And on Sundays at 8:00, I'm having fun with the customers I have online. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just about buying and they're buying. Also, when you sit, you come, you're talking to people online. There are some people, they're not there to buy, but they're just there to watch someone that says good morning, good afternoon to them. Because when I see people joining, I ask them, how's the day? Some people, that's all they need. They need someone to ask them, how's their day, how things are going. So it's not just sitting there when I go on live, just talking. It's just, touch other people's lives.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot, Rachel. I know you do ministry. So, today is Inspirational Sunday here with WEMAG. So can you please give us a great inspiration, one of your ministries?
Okay. The Bible itself talks about fear a lot, about conquering your fear. With God, when you have God with you, you shouldn't fear anything. So one of my favorite quote, and it derives from Hebrews, so one favorite quote, people say it a lot, and I love it. It's let your faith be bigger than your fear, or you can say let your faith outweighs your fears. So if you let your faith outweighs or be bigger than your fear, you are bound to win in life. Okay, so know that having faith in God and having faith in ourselves and our potential are extremely important. So we need to understand that no matter what, even if we have a lot of fear factors hidden within ourselves, we should still not refrain ourselves from going out the way and try giving our best. We always have to give our best. When you let your faith be bigger than your fear, you win all the time, and you win by all means. Okay, so trust in God and trust in yourself. Have faith in yourself and know that you can achieve great things. Another favorite, my favorite verse is, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." So if you know God can strengthen you, Christ can strengthen you, you know you can achieve anything in life. So you have to go on trying. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You might have to fall. You fall 100 times, but only when you have a zeal to succeed, that you will get to learn the best way of living your life. Because that's what I'm doing now. Okay.
Amen
So
to that.
yes. So you have to know that success doesn't come overnight.
Mhm.
No. I had to strive. I had to go on. It doesn't come overnight. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of consistency, and most importantly, it needs patience. Okay. So do not give up on yourself much before you have actually tried. You have to try, and then go on, do your best, and leave the rest. That's what you have to do.
That's
Yes.
right. Rachel, I thank you so much for being a guest on the WEMAG show. It was great listening to your story and sharing with us. And I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of women. And you'll continue to do that through your work as an educator and as a minister. So please continue. And one thing in this interview, you mentioned a key word is support, supporting one another, supporting
Yes.
everyone that you can. And
Mhm.
that's where it all starts from. So
Yeah.
again, thank you and good luck to you in starting your
Thank
doctorate
you.
degree. Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
luck, good
Thank
luck,
you.
good luck. And with many things too that's you're planning to go for now and achieve. And I know you'll do it too.
Thank you, thank you, Claire. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Web Magazine, Web Mag, WeMag. I'm sorry, WeMag, and thank you for the things that you are doing in the community through the magazine and all the support, like you said, and motivation. How to support? We have to be able to lift each other, build each other up as women.
Mhm.
And thank you for doing that in the community. Thank you for having me. I had a
It's
blast.
your day. God
Thank
bless.
you. Thank you, you too. Bye.